What is going on, guys? Payne here once again, and welcome back to another episode of my Swansea career on FIFA 14. This is going to be an extra special long episode, going up to something like 14-15 minutes, simply because the next video after this one will be, of course, the Europa League final against Tottenham Hotspur. If you missed that episode, what are you waiting for? Go back and watch it. But seriously, we overcame the odds of Arsenal. We beat them in the second leg because the first leg at the Emirates ended 0-0, and then we took it all the way back to South Wales and we beat them 1-0 there thanks to a goal from Andros Townsend, securing our place in the final. Tottenham Hotspur did well against Sporting Lisbon as well to put themselves through to the final, so it's going to be an all-British final in the Europa League this season. Can Swansea go all the way? Can we win it? You guys are just going to have to stay tuned. But our first game in this video in the Premier League, we are flying high at the moment in the Premier League. We're not doing too bad. We're holding our that competition between us, and we're fighting it out with Arsenal this season, aren't we? So before this game kicked off against Fulham, the league table still had Arsenal in 4th, we was in 5th, but they were only there by a point or two, so this game was a must-win. But it was Ruiz who put Fulham into the lead. I don't know what it is with Ruiz. If you go back and watch some of my previous career modes, he always scores against me. Always. He's always there. He is their danger man for Fulham. But thankfully, Bonnie got the equaliser, using his strength there to work his way into the box, and on the outside of his right boot, just powered that one home, curling it in to the bottom corner. Lacazette, before half-time, almost made it 2-1, but the ball just went well wide of the mark and rolled across the ground to go out for a goal kick. Bonnie eventually broke away from Fulham's back four. It was another shot with the outside of his right boot. Tried to curl that one around the keeper. He did beat the keeper, but the crossbar just got in his way. It would have been a cracking goal, one I would have thoroughly enjoyed. And of course it would have added to his tally of goals scored, competing with Wayne Rooney. I thought the ref may have given a penalty there to Swansea, as you just saw Tom Huddleston went for a powerful shot and the ball struck against the hand of Senderos. But it was one of those moments where else could he put his hands? You know, it was inevitable that the ball was going to strike against it. It wasn't intentional, so obviously the game went on and still stood at 1-1 until, of course, the youngster Lee Lucas put Swansea into the lead right on the hour mark. Lee Lucas has really stepped up to the plate this season. I've only really started him towards the end, but these last couple of games that he has played in, he proved himself in that game against Monaco, home and away, you know, in the Europa League. Fantastic stuff, and I've had to play him because Kanya, Shelby, they've been out due to lack of fitness. It's just been unfortunate. But Lee Lucas made it 2-1, put us into the lead for the first time in this game. And then Bonnie got the third goal, making it 3-1. And then Lee Lucas got a second goal. He was on for his hat-trick with just a couple of minutes remaining of the game. And hopefully you guys will agree with me there, but what a fantastic goal. It was so cheeky. He was through on goal. Bit of a tightish angle. It was Kanyas that set him up there. Goalkeeper came out trying to make himself look big, and Lee Lucas took his time with that and just, it was a slight toe peck into the bottom corner. So cheeky. I really do love goals like that. I'm not sure about you guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what's your favourite type of goal that you can score? Is it a header? Is it a volley into the top corner? Or is it a very powerful shot from maybe 40 yards out? Or is it a goal like that? A nice little simple toe peck into the bottom corner. But anyway, we showed our dominance against Fulham. We beat them 4-1, picking up a nice set of 3 points. And here are our remaining games. We've got Norwich, we've got Liverpool midweek, and then on the weekend we got Man City. Then we've got the Europa League final against Tottenham, and our final game of the season we will be playing against Aston Villa. So obviously, as you just saw, we had to move on and turn our focus to our next game against Norwich City, again playing at home, and Lacazette was trying to get himself back on the score sheet, back to scoring ways. He seems to have slipped as of late. With the performances of Bonnie, it's just outshined him completely. Had a great chance there with a volley with his left foot. The ball was dipping with the ball physics there. It was destined for the back of the net, but the crossbar just got in the way in time for Norwich to keep the game at 0-0. And from there on, just grew in confidence. We grew into the game big time and just kept pushing them and pressing them for a goal, for our first goal of the game. And it was Joel Matip that opened up the scoring with a nice attacking set piece with the corner. John Joe Shelvey outside the box made it 2-0. Simple pickings really, left foot, and he kind of killed that one round, John Ruddy. And you'll see it on the replay here as well. Slight curve, and I tell you, he can really hit them balls, can't he? John Joe Shelvey. He took that nicely, turning the ball round, changing direction almost immediately there, fooling the likes of Olsen. And you can see there the nice curl on the ball. Keeper fully stretched, trying to get a hand to that, just too slow on the final approach to it. John Matip, after a corner was taken, passed the ball back around, just keeping possession. And look at Sammy Amiobi. I was well chuffed when that attacking movement kind of worked out. You know, great positioning all around, and it was just unfortunate Amiobi couldn't make it 3. But 2-0, it's good enough for me because, of course, 3 points in the bag. And after I finished that game, I went straight to the league table. I was like, where are we now? And it's going to be like this now all the way up until the last game of the season. As you can see there, 5 points above Arsenal now because they lost their last game. So this is it. This is it. We could confirm our spot in the Champions League for next season for Swansea. How cool is that? I mean, we will have to go through qualifying stages, but I'm more than confident that we can get through that and grab a spot in the group stages and play against the likes of Barcelona or Real Madrid. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to next season, guys. I hope you are too. And I did say a couple of videos ago that I was going to sneak in a squad report, and here it is. So you've got Kanyas, Townsend, Sammy Amiobi that have increased slightly, or they've exceeded their rating. Like Bonnie this season, he's just been, I can't stop talking about Bonnie, I know, but this season has been the best for him. Also, Eric Diet, I know he is going down in rating. I've got to sort that out, and I know what it is. And you guys are gonna probably be in the comment section below. Oh, you douche! What are you playing at? Why are you playing Diet out of position? It did say on his info that he can play as a centre half. He can play as a central midfielder, and I think at a push, I think he can play as a right back at a push. I'm not too sure on that one. But I thought, well, at the time we were lacking in central midfielders, so I thought maybe I could use him as rotation, and obviously it's not working out. He's decreasing in stats, which is kind of depressing because he's at such a young age. So I need to sort that out and start playing him as a centre half. And I was also happy to see Tom Huddleston's rating. There was a few attributes there that had gone up, and that was surprising to see because he is at the age of 28. He's getting to that time in his career where he's reaching his peak and where he's not as good as he used to be. So it was good to see that, like, acceleration increased. Maybe it was just by 1, but you know, it's not too bad. So anyway, our next game against Liverpool. This was midweek. We had a tough game coming up on the weekend, so I had to be careful of fitness here. And we opened up the scoring. Pablo Hernandez, the goal scorer. It was kind of sweaty, I know, but what you're going to do? It's a tough game. I want Champions League football for next season. I'm going to have to go for it. I want to win this one against Liverpool. We beat them at the start of this season. It was Tom Huddleston that got the winner in that one. He was the new signing at the time, and it was a great start for him. And it would be nice to keep up the tradition of Tom Huddleston scoring against Liverpool, but it wasn't to be in this one. I did push for it as much as possible, but it was Pablo Hernandez who got the opening goal, and it looked as though it might be Pablo Hernandez again, as I was doing absolutely everything to just try and secure those 3 points. I didn't really care for the scoreline, whether it be 1-0, 2-0, as long as we won. That's the main thing. You just got to keep going. We've only got 2-3 games remaining of this season, so you've got to make the best of it. Players do become a lot more fatigued, and it would take it out of them, seeing that we had to play Liverpool midweek and then City on the weekend, and then again a couple of days later we've got the Europa Cup final. So rotation was a main thing that I had to focus on throughout these last couple of weeks in the Premier League. Sammy Amiobi almost made it 2-0 against Liverpool, looking for that cheeky chip against Mignolet, who was between the sticks for Liverpool in this game. Getting closer to the end of the game, Liverpool decided to turn up the heat at Anfield. The fans were behind them big time, and it was Sterling with a great chance, great opportunity to put them back on level terms with Swansea. They got a corner out of it though. Suso to take it, swung it in, lucky for Jose Enrique, but it just went wide. Unfortunate for Liverpool, but thankfully they didn't get anything. But Alexander Pato, looking for a penalty there, I think. He did try and make a meal out of that, kind of Suarez-esque, if you will. But we still managed to hold on to this. I was very impressed by the referee, and Bonnie, with the last split second of the game, almost made it 2-0. That would have rounded off his game nicely. He did put in a bit of a decent performance, just unfortunate he couldn't get on the score sheet. He assisted Pablo Hernandez in getting that first goal, and the only goal against Liverpool. So Liverpool dropped down to 7th position, and Swansea keep their place in 4th, still 5 points above Arsenal. This was it anyway, our last game of this video, guys, against Man City. We had that slight advantage, as they always like to bang on about being at home in front of the home crowd. I find that it kind of helps us out. It does help sometimes on FIFA. I think that's my belief anyway. I like to believe that it does. But City on FIFA, they don't give a crap if they're playing home or away. You know, they're ruthless. They've had a lot of money invested in them. That's what's come to be expected of them. So it was going to be tough, and we had to start the game without my top goal scorer Bonnie. He did start the game on the bench though, so he was there for selection if I needed to call upon him in the first or even in the second half. And I did have kind of an inexperienced back four with Eric Dier. He started this one in place of Ashley Williams, which meant Joel Matip took up the captain's armband. Alexander Lacazette almost made it 1-0 and should have made it 1-0. It was a great opportunity, but there was just so many players. Well, I say so many, there was only 2 players on the line, but it made it increasingly harder to put the ball into the back of the net. The big target became a small target. But with that corner, I took full advantage of it. It was Lee Lucas again. You know, the guy that had a great game against Fulham at the start of this video. With the volley, yes, it took a massive deflection, but he will count that as his goal. And you guys will see the deflection here in the replay. Who does it come off? But the goalkeeper. Yes, it does. Derp. The ball like ricocheted off his gloves. So unfortunate. But Swansea 1-0 in the lead. That's the main thing, isn't it, at the end of the day? In the lead against City, all I had to do was set settings to defensive and just sit back for the rest of the game and make sure that we shut up shop and didn't let them through whatsoever. But I couldn't control myself, could I? I couldn't help it. I wanted to try and get more goals. I'm selfish that way sometimes when it comes to football. And it was Sinclair that got the equaliser, putting City back on level terms with Swansea City at the Liberty Stadium. So unfortunate for me to concede there as well at such a late time in the game, because it would just be increasingly harder to get a second against City. I was struggling. I was struggling after I scored that first goal, and it was just becoming an incredibly frustrating game. So with my attacking philosophy, I was like, well, let's go get a second goal. Let's see if we can win this game and get it in the bag. And look at Lee Lucas. Went for the half volley. Oh, how unfortunate can one be? Seriously. Could have been 2-1 there. So unfortunate. But that's a full-time score. 1-1 against City. And even though we was 5 points clear of Arsenal, I was happy to drop 3 points there. All we have to do now is make sure that we can beat Aston Villa and we're in the Champions League. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. I do hope that you've enjoyed this extra long special, and I'll see you all very soon for the Europa League final against Tottenham.